Judge Michael McShane is one step closer to ruling on a case against the constitutionality of Oregon's same-sex marriage ban. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Matt Templeman.
And I'm Renee McCullough. Today, he denied the National Organization for Marriage's request to intervene in the court case. It is our top story tonight at 6 o'clock. During his decision, McShane turned down the National Organization for Marriage's request because he says the group had no credible reason for waiting until the last minute to file their motion to intervene. The group says it has a county clerk, someone who works in the marriage industry, and voters who wanted them to step in. But McShane says without knowing the identities of these clients, it's hard to know how same-sex marriage would impact their jobs. The National Organization for Marriage says it thinks that voters should make a decision whether they want to legalize same-sex marriage, not a judge.
The voters of Oregon, by a fairly large margin, 10 years ago voted to define marriage. And we think that ought to be the policy judgment of the state that needs to be upheld and defended by the state's officers. And if the voters of Oregon want to change it, they can.
And the National Organization says it will file an appeal in this case.
KEZI 9 News reporter Stacey Kafka was in the courtroom today as that decision came down.
And she joins us live tonight from outside of the courthouse with reaction from both sides. Stacey?
There wasn't an empty seat in the courtroom today as lawyers representing the National Organization for Marriage, the state of Oregon, and same-sex couples debated the constitutionality of Oregon's ban on same-sex marriage. And while the judge did not issue a decision, same-sex marriage supporters are calling today a victory. Same-sex couples and their supporters say what happened in the courtroom today is more than just a legal victory for them.
Because to me, it's not just about a bunch of legalese and attorneys saying this or that. To me, like everything they say, I directly relate to my family and my son and the people that I've learned to grow and love behind me.
And while McShane's impending decision could come down any day now, they say they're patiently waiting and watching as other states legalize same-sex marriage.
13 states have considered the question of constitutional bans on marriage. 13 out of 13 judges have come down on the side of love, on the side of freedom, and on the side of fairness. And Oregon is next.
But the National Organization for Marriage says it's not done fighting for its beliefs.
One always brings these things in expecting to have to go to appeal, either to defend the ruling or to criticize the ruling, and so now we're going to be criticizing it.
But same-sex couples say it's time for this fight to end.
Our kids have gone through the years of hateful ballot measures, and we kind of struggle to maintain that we are a family, and it feels like the state that we love will finally recognize that.
Things have evolved and changed, and we're real families and real people, and we don't want to be in shadows anymore. We don't want to be ashamed anymore.
So as both sides wait for the judge to issue his ruling in this case, they're hopeful he'll rule in their favor.
These things never end at the trial court. We're looking forward to the argument in the Court of Appeals.
We've waited a long time for this to come to pass. 30 years is a long time to be engaged.
This conversation is far from over as the National Organization for Marriage says it'll file an appeal within the next 30 days. McShane did not say today when he would issue his ruling on the case. Live in Eugene, Stacey Kafka, KEZI 9 News.